Hey, what is up, always? It's Lynn the Gotcha Goblin. And let's talk about protecting your own peace. Because I feel like this not only applies to, online and choosing and curating your own platforms and whatnot. I also feel like it applies to real life situations in your workplace, the friends that you choose to have around you, and the people that you keep close and divulge information to and whatnot. I don't know if it's just a generational thing or if it's possibly because of how the internet is nowadays with like short form content, all of this AI slop everywhere, rotting everyone's brains. But I feel like people are just so used to consuming on a daily basis that they no longer have filters for what they find is acceptable to consume. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are things in this world that we don't need to see, that we don't need to engage with, because it just doesn't better us as people and it doesn't better our situations and doesn't better our vibes or our energies. And I find that maybe it's the younger generation because I know people who are younger than me who are a-okay with being so tolerant and being mistreated or spoken down to, and I kind of like look at them and I'm just like, why don't they fight for more, to fight for that common decency, the common respect that human beings are supposed to have for one another in an interpersonal relationships and in person in general. And it just amazes me um, how times have changed, you know? Because for me, I don't know, maybe I came to this realization later in my life. I mean, I'm only 28, turning 29 very soon, and I am so set on making something out of my life and trying to achieve my dreams and working hard towards those goals that I don't have time to entertain any of the fluff, any of the things that I know that will waste my time, waste my efforts. And, things go into like, a lot of things go into whether or not I should do a project, whether or not I should be friends with this person, whether or not I should go on a date with that person. And I think it's just not only curating your timelines that is so important and being, I guess, aware of what you are letting into your life, whether it be digitally or in person, is just so important because we're in a society or in a world now where we're being consumed by content. Like, it's everywhere we go. You see ads everywhere, short form content constantly being barraged into our faces, and the things that people spew out of their mouths now doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense or, you know, I guess trigger any sort of deeper thought or critical thinking. And it makes me worried about how people how do I like decide and create decisions for themselves about what they want their lives to be like. There's like a whole deeper conversation here, I feel like, about how all of this content is creating this very confusing sphere of projecting what the world wants you to look like or what the world thinks that you should be or how you should think, that it stops people from actually thinking for themselves. It's almost like these things online or these people that you talk to in person are, if you want to go to the extreme, like propaganda, trying to like brainwash you into believing a certain kind of thing without you thinking for yourself. And I think that that is such a dangerous way to live. And look, I'm not somebody who is completely immune to that because I was highly susceptible to that when I was in high school, up until college. And it was a very hectic time for me. I didn't know who I was. I had no identity of my own, and that was just the beginning of, the social media overtake that it is right now. Um, and just knowing from my experience everything that I went through back then and everything that I had to go through in order to reach this more peaceful state of mind, it was crazy. And there was so many times in the past few years, just the past few years, past maybe like 4 or 5 years, where I had no idea where I was going with my life. And that was something that was so life changing for me because when I was younger, I was an overachiever. I'm Asian parents. um, I wanted to always have that A plus. I always wanted to be the star of the show. It doesn't help that I'm an only child. um, I was very conceited in the way that I felt like I've achieved so many things and life was always just gonna work out for me and all of those different shenanigans. And yet, when I graduated college and I ended up at a really, seemingly really good job, corporate job, um, things just went downhill from there because just by the way that people treated me, maybe because I was different. Um, and eventually, I lost that job and I questioned how did my life get to this point. And it it shook my world. I had no direction. I had no dreams. And I didn't know how to answer that very basic question of like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I had no idea. And I felt like at that point, I was already a certain amount of grown and I was still lost and I was so scared. I was so scared for the future. And the things that shaped me were, the stupid videos I was watching online that I was being basically zombified by. Um, there was nothing that gave me there was nothing that I consumed that gave me any sense of direction. And that was because I wasn't filtering anything that I was letting into my life. And because of that, because of all of that confusion bombarding my brain and my focus in life, I was so lost for like maybe 2, 3 years. And it was such a scary time in my life. I thought I was going to be a failure. I thought I was never going to get anywhere. Um, and then eventually, I deleted a lot of my social media. I erased myself from many different platforms that I had. And if I still wanted to keep something, I would just go, basically incognito, you know, not post anything, not interact with anyone. And I sat with myself for a very long time, just reassessing the values that I had. Like, what made me feel good? What made me feel happy and proud of who I could be and whatnot? And that's when I started to like actually like curate the things that I was consuming in my life. And that ultimately led me to become inspired to start this channel, to start Gotcha Goblin also. And I also started some other different projects too to see if I could make money from those as well. And while a lot of them failed, um, two things really did pick up. And because I've poured so much effort into those two projects of mine, I feel like there is now direction in my life, you know? And having such a kind community around me, it helps so much. And I'm no longer easily swayed by people's opinions or the things that they tell me that I should be or whatnot. And this isn't just like random social media people. This isn't just like friends and whatnot. It was also a lot of family members who would try to like project their views onto me. And I had to of course stay polite and all of those different things. I'm never gonna be like not polite to somebody like that. Um, but just I guess solidify my own views in my life quietly while working hard on something. And I think that that is something that is so important in life that people just don't have, or they're not ready to experience that kind of thing. And maybe it's because they haven't experienced the kinds of lows that I had, you know. Um not to get too deep or into it or anything like that. There really was a time when I had no idea if I could, pay rent or buy groceries or anything like that, because it was truly bad timing in my life. And it was really scary, and the only reason why I got through that was because of my parents, um like helping me fortify my belief in myself that I still could make something out of myself. And they've been incredibly supportive of all of the endeavors that I've gone through and all of the things that I've tried and failed at, but they've seen every part of me basically. Um that's why I respect their opinions, because they've never led me astray in my life, and I feel incredibly lucky for that. And after I took out all of the noise around me, all of the different opinions that were being flooded on my timelines and in person, and I just kind of like honed in on what I wanted with the guidance of my parents, I'm here where I am today, happy, genuinely at peace, still working hard on myself, you know? And it feels good. It feels amazing. And I'm so happy. Um I love living life, man. I love living life. And life can be hard and it could be like truly it could be suffering, but it's just if you can realign yourself or have somebody there who can help you realign your goals and whatnot, it's just truly amazing. It's a gift. It really is a gift. And I'm so thankful for being alive and experiencing this and being able to just talk to you guys about this. And yeah, I could go on and on about this, but I feel like, a longer video might not be the best. But it's been really life changing. I've reached a point in my life where I feel like I have something to be confident about. Despite everything, I have something there, and it's wonderful. So, that is my story, and that is why I think that it's really important to. I want to use a different word than curate, but it's the only one that's coming to mind right now. But like to, curate the things around you, what you're consuming. Doom scrolling isn't good for you at all. I've been there, done that. Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, for listening, for spending time with me. If you like this video, leave a like down below. And if you want to hit that subscribe button on this channel, go ahead. I'll be releasing more yaps like this pretty soon. Okay, bye-bye now.